Well, it's good to have you back again. Well, the last couple of months has seen the rise of unemployment, of losses, job losses, as well as pay cuts. But in the midst of this economic crisis, what can affected people do rather for self-reliance and deploy their God-given talent for self-sustenance? That's a question in a lot of people's minds. But this morning, we do have someone here in the studio who can, provide some answers to that question. And she is Amaka Ezeh. She's a HR consultant and also an associate member, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. And she's going to be talking to us on job loss, pay cuts, and deployments of skills. Amaka, you're welcome.
Thank you, Precious. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I love your voice.
Thank you.
Why do HR consultants have this soft voice and nice voice?
Because they're the human face of organizations, if I'm not wrong.
You're right.
So talk to us.
Can someone like me be an HR, because my voice is very strong?
Of course I can.
No, but for real, things are happening. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people got pay cuts. And it's just amazing how much losses we experienced during this COVID-19 pandemic. If someone watching us out there now happens to be a victim of this, what would you say to them as a HR consultant and an associate member? On Chartered Institute.
Right. Thank you. So this is a global crisis, really. It's happening everywhere, it's not just Nigeria. So United Nations Labour Agency had already predicted that it's going to be worse than the 2008-2009 financial crisis. So we should expect equivalent of retrenchment of 200 million full-time workers to be retrenched from now to in the next 3 months.
Wow.
So this is everywhere. In the US, as at March, 10 million Americans were laid off. They were filing for unemployment insurance claims. So it is, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected businesses a lot, that it affected their cash flow. And when there is no cash flow, where there is no operation, you see it's very difficult for them to even, pay staff. So it's everywhere. So what I would advise you out there watching this show is, if this is you, I need you to understand that we are in unprecedented times, and it's not just you. Okay, so what you need to do right now is pick up yourself, encourage yourself, revamp your resume, and start searching for jobs. Okay, so what you also need to do now is building valuable network. You can leverage on LinkedIn. You can also leverage on some other, global communities or even local communities that can expose you to valuable opportunities. Another thing you need to do is, if you have been retrenched, I need you to understand that you still have the right to some allowances as stated on your employment contract. So what I need you to do is go back to your employment contract and read carefully where it is stated that you are entitled to some emoluments as per benefits, during retrenchment. You need to, alert your employer. They should know, because you are entitled to that. And another thing is, if you are terminated, you are supposed to be given a notice period, okay, to get yourself together. Or if the notice period is not given, at least you are supposed to be paid, salary in lieu. As the fact remains that anybody can actually pull out of this employment contract, right? But it's the mode of pulling out that really matters right now. So you have to make sure that the terms in your employment contract is followed. In the instances where it's not followed, then you need to call the attention of your employer.
Let me quote in here. We know that some private organizations in Nigeria may not necessarily have that kind of contract. Some people just get a job. They probably don't even have an employment letter or, details clearly stating emoluments or entitlements, that they are, that should come to them in the event of anything. What should such a person do?
Well, I would like to say that in that case, you really do not have anything to do.
Wow.
Because there is nothing legally binding you in that relationship.
Wow.
So even when you have an offer letter and it wasn't stated that when you are being retrenched, some allowances will go to you, won't get it because it's not binding. If it's verbal, it's not binding. As far as if you don't have a contract of employment later, I don't know what to say because you have no right to.
So am I, in light of this, when I get a job, for example, for those who are being retrenched right now, if I want to start all over and I go to an office and they are not willing to sit with me legally, because most of the times, hardly would you have to bring in a legal factor into, you're excited to get a job, they say they'll pay me 60,000, well, so hardly would you have to bring in someone legal. So what should we do henceforth? Because, are you saying, because is it a fault from the organization? Shouldn't the organization want to employ somebody and already have all this contract prepared?
Of course, when you get a job, it is very important. That is the normal procedure. It's even in our constitution, okay? You must be given that letter of employment within 3 months of you joining the organization. If you don't receive it, you need to either pull out or
demand for it.
Demand for it. So it is very, very important that you have contract of employment.
Okay, so let me take you back a bit to what you said before. Now we're talking about how that, for instance, people who've been retrenched, they don't have a job, that they could, take recourse in probably researching and getting jobs. But I wanted to talk to us a bit away from, having to, away from paid employment really, to what else
can be done.
I as a person can do. I don't think it should end with just me trying to get a job. Is there nothing else that I can do on my own? I mean, we've all been given God-given talents, right?
Great. Of course, you can do a lot of things. You just have to look inwards. What do you have inside of you? What can you do for free? What is it that you're very, very passionate about, that is valuable, that you can actually render to someone and someone appreciate that. So you start from there. And today we have a lot of technology tools that we can actually leverage to sell our skills out there. So whatever it is, be it singing, be it writing, cooking, social media management, just create an Instagram page, write out the articles, tell people about you, what you do, what you can offer, benefit of what you're bringing to the table. And I'm sure you can make headway from there. And most importantly, I will say build a network. Just re-strategize from where you are now. What do you have? What are the contacts you have? Talk to them about the state you are in now, and if anything can come from there. I'm sure people, even as people are retrenching, some people are actually recruiting people. It's just the information, having the information that so company is recruiting and all of that. So by contacting the people you already have in your network, you can get an information of, you can even get a referral to, like you said, cooking, to start cooking for some companies or some parties, or just leverage on the contacts you currently have now and put yourself out there, put your skills out there so people.
I remember I put something out one time and I said, if you're working somewhere and during this pandemic, they told everybody stay home and work, and your boss is not calling you and giving you work. My sister, my brother, start business. Look for talents that you've been hidden talents that you can bring out that have commercial value, and start thinking about it now. And like she said, it's not the time for you to get upset and say, why me, Lord? It happened to a lot of people in the world. A lot of people are having this issue right now. And it's not because you're not good, but you can be better. This could be lemonade kind of road. You can squeeze the lemons and make a nice, juicy lemonade for yourself.
Or you can determine your flavor. It doesn't have to be a lemonade. But you can trash the lemon and just decide your flavor. Well, this is how much we can take with Amaka today. But thank you very much, for coming in today and then letting people know that it's not the end of the road. Repackage yourself. That's what it's all about, right?
Sure.
Thank you for, I'm adding you to my network, just in case.
Right, let's go for a very quick break now. When we return, we do have another discussion for you. I mean, we're talking job cut, job losses, and people getting creative with, with their skills, with their talents. Well, our next discussion will focus on that. Do join us again.